So what is going on, everybody? This is your boy Fly Island Guy, and we're back with another video here on the channel. This is an exciting one today because we are trying out one of the GOATs of Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 right now. And we all know that there's really only like a few aircraft that are popping in Flight Simulator right now, and this is definitely one of them. So today I'm flying the Working Title CJ4 mod. This is, Working Title Citation CJ4 mod. So this is version 0.9.1. So we're going to be flying to Halifax, Nova Scotia today, and right now we're currently in Bermuda. So this is a fairly lengthy flight. If I check the flight plan, it's about hour 54 minutes in the air, and SimBrief is saying almost 2.5 hours from gate to gate. We'll see how accurate that is. No idea. But anyway, let's go into the cockpit and let's get things set up. So for this flight, I am going to go from straight code and dark, try to get everything programmed up. So I will put the timestamps in the video. If you're not really interested in watching me fumble my way through getting this set up, then you can go ahead and skip ahead. But if you are like me and you are kind of very new to, setting up a flight from code and dark, then fumble along with me and let's see how things go. I have used the previous version of this. I know there's been some changes in the sorry. There's been some changes in the FMS, but let's get this up and running. Let's see where we go with it. I am pretty new to a lot of things like VNAV and all that, so who knows, might end up just crashing this plane, but whatever. Let's give it a try, all right? So, if I remember from before, set your battery to on, and then you set your avionics to dispatch. So you hit down, and we can turn on the nav lights. We could turn on the safety belt sign.
May I have your attention, please? The captain has turned on the seatbelt sign. Please fasten your seatbelt and shoulder harness at this time. Thank you.
Cool. So I like the little cabin announcements. Before I go on, if any of you are really interested in seeing kind of more in depth what this does, I'm going to link a couple videos in the description box below. One of them is going to be from the actual designer, the actual devs for Working Title. They have like demonstration flights, and then the next is going to be from my personal favorite flight simulator YouTuber, Clumsy Gaming. He's got really informative videos. I've learned a lot from him, so I'm going to link that down in the description box below, where he does a flight in one of these and describes some of the new features. So first thing we'll do is go to pause init, and we are going to set our position. So you can just kind of click this guy here. It'll get copied into the scratch pad, and then you can click set position, and we'll go to the next page. And don't know what any of this stuff does. I'm sure it's important, but for now what I did is fine. So you can go to the flight plan now. Our origin is TXKF. and our destination is Halifax, so CYHZ. Boom. And we can start putting in our actual flight plan. So let's see, according to SimBrief, we're going to be going to Bovic, B-O-V-I-C. That's actually the endpoint of the SID from the airport. Inside here. What I normally do, I don't know if this is right or not, is I don't hit execute right away. I'll just kind of continue through and put in the rest of my flight plan. Whether you're supposed to do that or not, I do not know. So, I've never seen this before. SimBrief has given me like a really weird waypoint as my next waypoint. I don't know why, so I'm just gonna skip that one out. It's basically just a coordinate. It's not an actual. It doesn't have a name. So I'm just gonna skip that. I'm gonna do the next one, which is Ilari, and that's pretty much it. So I'll go ahead and execute that, and we will go into. If you click this lower menu button, it'll open up a menu here. I'll just use the cursor to go through that. Go to plan. And I honestly don't know how to zoom in and out from this, to be honest, but oh, I know. It's up here. It's one of these. Pretty sure it's one of these. Oh, there we go. Just map zoom. Well, I guess because we're in plan mode right now. But that's pretty much it. So, aside from that weird waypoint that I just decided to leave out, there's the only other waypoints. So, what we'll do now is, if we come down, we'll go back to flight plan again, and actually we didn't need to go to flight plan. We can click departure arrival, the dep R button right here. And so for today, we're going to be doing runway 30, and we'll be doing this summer 1 departure. And remember when I was putting in the waypoints, remember like Bovic was our starting waypoint, so that'll be the transition. So we'll go ahead and hit that, and we'll choose execute. And we'll go ahead and put the arrival in now. Normally you kind of wait to do that. You'd hear about the runway and all that kind of stuff. You get that from ATC on the way, but we're just going to go ahead and put this in now for the sake of simplicity. We're going to be landing on runway 14, and I'm going to do ILS because I'm feeling adventurous, but honestly I don't quite remember how to do that in this plan. But let's choose ILS runway 14, and we'll be doing the Peggy 4 approach, and I believe Larry is going to be our transition, and hit execute. Alright, So that should be our whole flight plan in, which is cool because I thought it was going to take longer than that. So we're in plan mode now. Let's just close this menu real quick, and what we'll do is we will click this MFD Advanced button, and if we click on that, we'll have the option to go next waypoint. So we can go next waypoint, summer. And what we're really looking for here is any kind of weirdness. See how right here there's nothing, so that means there's probably a discontinuity in there. Like, looks like another discontinuity. Okay, alright. So as you can see, there's breaks in our flight plan. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and try and resolve those, okay? So let's go into legs, and we'll just kind of go through different pages. Next, we have Bovik in here twice, so that was probably my fault for the way that we set up the waypoints. I kind of put this in and then did the departure. So let's see if we could delete that. So let's delete this one. Okay. Execute. And I might have gotten rid of one of the discontinuities. So let's keep going through. Here's another one. So we just select the second waypoint, or the next waypoint, to copy into the scratch pad. Then we just copy it up to get rid of the discontinuity. Hit execute. And we'll just keep going. So here's another one. I guess that's that one right there. So same thing. Oop, invalid delete. Wait. No, I think I've seen this before. Let's see. Huh, okay. They might have done it, which is good. Boom, okay. So though, I guess maybe it was, I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. It just said vector and then it kind of messed things up. But yeah, we've cleared that now. So let's go back to MFD Advanced again, and let's just go back through all of our waypoints, make sure they're all connected up. Okay. This is sort of weird, but you know, I'll leave it in for now. Not a big deal. Okay. And cool. So yeah, it looks good now, all the way down to the airport. This is where our ILS approach is going to kick in. Somewhere around here. Like right around there. That's where you want to make sure it's activated, all that good stuff. Alright, so cool. So next, now that we've got that done, we can go to the perf page, go perf init. Now cruise altitude is going to be 41,000 today. And let's see. I think you have the option now of just entering in the 0 fuel weight, which should take care of like your passengers and your cargo. I'll leave the cents fuel as is. So we go to the flight plan. Sorry, let's go to sim brief, and 0 fuel weight is alright. Sorry, so looking at this flight plan, 0 fuel weight is 5670. So I think this is actually in kilograms. So I'm going to convert that to pounds. And 5670 is 12,500. So let's see if it'll take this. Cool. Alright. So we're good there. Let's go to takeoff now. So outside air temperature we can take from here, I believe, sat. And it's 20 degrees, which is a pretty cool day in Bermuda, but it is winter time after all. The QNH right now is I just had the METAR up. It is 1007. So this only takes inches, I believe it is. So 1007 is 29.73. Oops. 29.73. Okay, and we could put in our wind, and the wind is 250 at 19 knots. Boom. Okay. All right. I'm gonna not worry about the runway slope, and the condition is dry. It's not raining today. Okay, so let's go to the next page. Next page we'll do flaps 1, and cool. Okay. Actually, I don't know if 1 was the right thing to put in there, but let me double check. Flaps. Okay. Flaps 15, I guess. Maybe should we put 15 in there? Okay, no idea. Alright, I'm gonna put in 1 just to be on the safe side. I have no idea what's supposed to go there. So let's go these VREF speeds as is. We just hit send, and send will actually pop them onto our PFD. So cool. Alright, that's pretty much it, I think, as far as getting things set up is concerned. So we can go ahead, we'll switch the climate controls to normal, And I think we can go ahead and get the engine started. At least that's what I'm gonna do. Alright, so for this plane, getting everything started up is really easy. It's not like your typical kind of bigger jets where you have to do bleed air, make sure your bleed air is on, your pack's off and all that. You don't have to do any of that. We can just go ahead and turn our beacon on, and we'll just open up the guards, and then we'll choose the engine that we want to start. So let's start the right engine, and you can hear the sound of the avionics changing and all that, and the fans and all that, because your engine now it's starting up. So if you take a look outside, you should see the right engine running. Right. It's kind of difficult to see, but it's happening. And we can go and just hit the button for run. So you can hear the engine starting up now. Alright. Engine sound good. Alright. And if we look at our N1 here, we'll be able to see that the right engine stabilized now at 24.6 N1. So let's go ahead and start the second engine. Second engine should be starting up. Oh, sorry, I forgot to actually turn the starter. So we'll see the N1 rising here. N2 is also rising. Oil pressure is increasing. Oil temperature and oil pressure is increasing. Now that it's starting up, we can go ahead and get all of our avionics on. So let's go ahead and switch those on. Alright. And let's get the flight director on. We will go up to 41,000 today. There's no step climb or anything like that. Okay. Alright. And I'm gonna forgot to open up Navigraph. So let's open that up. I'm going to import our flight from SimBrief. Okay, so here we are on Navigraph. Let's go to TXKF. And let's go to the airport. So here we are at the Apron 3. We're normally at the real airport. This is where all of your private jets, GA aircraft, this is where they'll park. And although you don't see too much GA aircraft here because of Bermuda's location, it's not going to be a lot of like small turboprops or piston engine planes flying out here just because of the distance. But this is where they normally go. So we're going to be leaving on runway 30 today. So I'm just gonna put in that heading for now. Actually, I'm not gonna do that because of this button right here. So there's a takeoff go around button now that puts a bunch of settings there. And like when you hit that button, I think like whatever direction you're pointing in, it locks it into the heading. And I forget what else it does. So a couple things that it does, but we'll actually do that. But cool, I think that's pretty much it. We should be ready to get started. Probably a couple things that I've forgotten, but you know, we'll be alright. Alright, so let's get all of our lights on, except for the landing lights. Turn our taxi lights on. And one of the cool features about this plane that I like is it has like passenger briefings and stuff. So what we'll do now is, as we taxi to the runway, we'll go ahead and brief the passengers on the safety features of the aircraft. And I just like doing it because of the realism and the immersion. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll also switch our PFD into present position mode as well, so we can kind of track where we're going. So alright, so let's go and do that. Get this one started.
May I have your attention, please? Welcome aboard the Citation CJ4 aircraft. Your flight crew will make every effort to make your trip a pleasant one. At this time, please refer to the passenger briefing card located near your seat for important safety-related information.
Flaps
Smoking
down.
is prohibited aboard this aircraft, while the no smoking lights are eliminated and prohibited in the
Park and brake off.
at all times. Aviation regulations require passenger compliance with lighted no smoking and seatbelt signs, placards, as well as flight crew instructions. For taxi, takeoff, and landing, please ensure that your lap belt and shoulder harness are fastened and all portable electronic devices are turned off. Tables, luggage, and loose articles must be stowed and secured. Seats must be in the upright and outboard position, and your headrest extended per instructions located near your seat. To fasten your lap belt, place the flat metal end into the buckle. Pull on the lap belt strap to tighten the lap belt. To fasten the shoulder harness, hold the shoulder harness strap across and in front of you, and hook the metal end on the stud located on your lap belt. To release your lap belt, depress the latch release on the top portion of the buckle. To release the shoulder harness, unhook the metal end from the stud. Because of the possibility of unexpected turbulence, please keep your lap belt securely fastened about you at all times while in your seat. In the event of cabin depressurization, oxygen masks will automatically drop from overhead compartment. Locate the nearest mask, pull the mask down to the full length of the tubing, and place it over your nose and mouth. Adjust masks by pulling the elastic straps and breathe normally. Don your mask prior to assisting others with their masks. An emergency exit is located at the right side of the aft cabin. To open the emergency exit, remove the plastic panel covering the release handle. Turn the handle in the clockwise direction. Pull the top of the emergency exit inward, lifting the base out of the opening and into the cabin. Discard the emergency exit overboard. Exit the cabin by stepping through the opening onto the wing and continue forward off the wing. The main entry door, which you use to enter the aircraft, may also be used as an emergency exit. To open the main entry door, first push in on the inner paddle located above the inner handle. Second, pull down on the inner handle approximately 90 degrees. Push the door open and lower the stairs to exit the aircraft. Life vest locations are placarded near your seat. To don the life vest, tear open the storage bag and remove the vest. Place the life vest over your head. Wrap the strap around your waist, buckle, and tighten the strap. For children, wrap the belt around a leg, buckle, and tighten the strap. Inflate the life vest after exiting the plane by pulling downward on both red tabs. If the life vest fails to inflate, blow into the manual inflation tubes attached to the vest. For information on the location and use of fire extinguishers, as well as other emergency or survival equipment, refer to your passenger briefing card or consult your flight crew. Thank you, and have a pleasant flight.
All right. Passenger briefing done. Flight attendants prepare for takeoff, is what the pilots would say. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and get ourselves lined up here on the runway. Nothing's coming. Alright, so Bermuda's runway is plenty long for takeoff. Plenty long. And this jet is like a rocket, so we're going to be airborne in no time. Let's go ahead. Let's get our landing lights on. And let's go ahead and hit this takeoff go around mode button. As you can see now we're in takeoff mode. Let me turn on nav mode right away. So it looks like we're just heading straight out. Alright. So the CJ4 has a FADEC system. I don't know too much about it. All I know really is that it basically has like pre-programmed thrust settings for climb, takeoff, and cruise. So in order to take off, we're going to move the throttles all the way up to the takeoff detent, and that'll determine our like thrust or whatever for takeoff. Right? So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, I got a warning because I don't have the pitot heat on, but let's not worry too much about that for now. Okay, should be hitting V1, rotates. We are up, gear up. Let's just enjoy Bermuda for a quick second. This looks absolutely realistic. Ah, that looks beautiful, man. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and switch on autopilot now. What a beautiful sight. Awesome. Alright, autopilot on. Yaw damper on as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into flight level change mode. And I'm going to turn on VNAV as well. And let's go into climb. I don't know if you could see it, but when we select the different detents, it changes right here. So we can go takeoff, climb. We can pull it back to cruise as well. I'm gonna bug up to 240 knots. And we're already up and through the clouds. So something about this plane, I think my flaps are still down too. Yep, those still down. So one thing about this plane is that it climbs like an absolute missile. So we're doing about 3,700 feet per minute as our climb rate. And we've crossed 10,000. So we could go ahead and turn our landing lights off. Forgot to set our barometer as well. It's supposed to be 2973. But we're already gonna blow through. We're gonna blow through 18,000 anyway, so we're gonna be changing that back to standard soon. Clouds are looking decent for now. I like along with a lot of other people have been suffering with the way the clouds look. They're very grainy and stuff, but this looks half decent for now, but I'm sure it's going to get worse as we get higher. So not bad. Screenshot. So you see some ice forming on the windscreen, so I believe it's these guys need to turn on. Let's turn on the pitot heat as well. And yeah, ice is gone from the windows now. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful sight come through the clouds, man. Alright, so we're just coming up on 18,000 feet, so gonna go to standard now. Alright. So this is what I'm talking about. If now that we've gotten up a little higher, if you look at these clouds here, you can sort of see the graininess that I'm talking about. I don't know what that is. There's a lot of people that seem to be having that issue. This actually doesn't look too bad, but definitely looks a lot worse than that for me. So I want to take a quick look at the flight plan because I just need to see what it has in here as far as altitude restrictions are concerned. So it says that we have to be at 5,000 at a loader. And okay, CF14 should be at 2,300. Okay, so we should be able to use VNAV to handle the approach, which is good. so far everything is looking good, man. Like, the climb out has been uneventful. We're holding at 240 knots right about now. Let's see where we should be at our performance for the cruise portion. Let's see, Takeoff. I have no idea where to check for this stuff. Approach, refs. Yeah, I don't know. Is it VNAV set up? Okay, yeah. This is for descent. Here's our target speed. Just 290 and or 0.74 Mach. And our VNAV cruise speed should be 0.74 Mach or 300 knots. So let's try and push for that. If we can't make it, then, you know, as close as we can get. We'll see. We're going up pretty high, so... Wow, we're still in the clouds. Yeah, we're going up pretty high, so... I found, using the jet before, that kind of had trouble maintaining speed at those higher altitudes, like, at least during climb, so... We'll see what happens. Still stuck in the clouds, man. Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to the Working Title team. They've been doing a great job with this aircraft so far, and that's definitely why so many people have been using it. And it's just constant work being put into it. If we actually go to their GitHub, if you look at the pull requests, so if you're not familiar with what this is, so this is the GitHub page. The GitHub page is basically holds the code for the Working Title mod. So what I'm looking at right now is the pull request page. So these are basically like changes that people have made to the code. Could just be developers as well. And the pull request is when the change is being compared against the master code set to make sure everything's alright. But as I said, lots going on here. And even up to 3 days ago, there's a pull request open. Yeah. I was looking somewhere before we could actually see like what they've been, like all the changes to different branches. I don't know where it is, but as you can see, it's a lot going on here right now. And I'm looking forward to see what they have next for this aircraft. Can't believe we're at 34,000 feet and still stuck in the clouds. That is crazy. I hope we break out of there at some point. Okay, so we're also now at 35,000 feet, and look, we're still doing 2,000 feet per minute, which is really impressive. I've heard that this is similar in performance to the real aircraft. If you guys didn't know, the people who are developing the mod, I don't know how many people are doing it, but definitely the one person that I've been seeing doing the demo, they actually really flew the Citation CJ4 in real life. So I'm confident that what we're experiencing in the game is very similar to its real life performance. Alright, looks like we're breaking out of the clouds finally. So we're getting a little turbulence here, but not a huge deal. So I guess we're just going to be sitting on top of the clouds for the majority of the flight. So if you haven't used this plane before, one of the good things about it is that it actually does calculate like your top of descent. We're going to see that a little later on. VNAV does work, and it works well. So it's just a pleasure to fly overall. I don't know kind of what else to say about it. For me, this is a great introduction into flying jets and like dealing with the more complicated systems. So after flying this, I feel like I'm going to be a little more confident moving into other aircraft. Like there's supposed to be an Aerosoft CRJ coming out eventually. So I'll feel a little more confident about trying out something like that because, you know, I have experience with this particular mod. Alright, so we come out over the top of the clouds. Now we're nearing our cruise altitude, so I guess we're just going to be sitting in the wispiness of the clouds for
altitude.
the majority of our flight. So we've got the warning for the altitude, the 1,000 feet. So here we are now, slowly settling into 41,000 feet. We absolutely flew up here, rocketed up here fairly easily, which is very impressive. Extremely impressive. So what we're going to do now that we've reached this altitude is that we're going to now move the throttles down to the cruise detent. So if you look up here, right now it's in climb. So I'm going to just slowly pull it back. As you see, it changed to cruise. There you go. And from here now, I'm really gonna have to watch our airspeed, make sure that it doesn't get too high. So I'll just be watching this Mach number right here. I know there's a way to make like the Mach number show up top here. Not really 100% sure how to do that, I'm just gonna watch this guy to make sure it doesn't go over 0.74. So if I'm getting close to it, which looks like it's doing, I'm gonna have to like ease back on the throttles a little bit. But we shall see. I don't know if the plane manages that itself. There is no auto throttle inside here, so you kind of have to keep an eye on the airspeed at all times. Make sure you're not going too fast or too slow. Also, just as an announcements, so my new joystick came in. I haven't had the chance to set it up yet, but I'm gonna probably try and do that tomorrow maybe. So I didn't say what I ended up getting. So essentially, like I was, if you guys remember from maybe last flight or maybe flight before, I don't quite remember. It looks like I'm having a problem with my Logitech Extreme 3D joystick. So I decided to purchase a new joystick. I was looking around, could not find anything, and that was really bugging me. I'm just gonna keep an eye on my airspeed real quick because it looks like it's over 0.74 and it's getting near the overspeed range. So I'm just pulling back a little bit. And I'm just gonna watch to make sure it starts dipping down slightly. I don't want to overspeed. Not the end of the world if it starts to overspeed. You could just pull back a little bit, but I'm trying to be professional. Looks like it's still. Alright. And let's go to this view. Which is a cool view when you're taking off, but it's like I'm so this plane, as I said, since it climbs like a rocket, you can't really enjoy the view when you're taking off like that because the view becomes nothing very quickly. So but I set up this view specifically for that reason. So like for takeoffs and that sort of thing, you can just kind of have this kind of dash cam view. Anyway, I digress. So I was trying to look for joysticks. I was sort of settling on the idea of getting HOTAS set up. So the HOTAS setup is HOTAS stands for hands on thrust and stick. So you have like a little throttle quadrant and your joystick. I've never been interested in getting a yoke. I just don't really have the space for that right now. But so I was looking around, couldn't find anything, and then in Reddit, I heard a lot of people talking about the Gladiator NXT. So this is a joystick it's built. I guess the company is based in China, but they make basically modular flight systems. I don't really know what to call it. So essentially what it is it's almost like you have like a joystick that is kind of customizable. So you can get like different grips, you can get kind of different springs and stuff inside there if you want. And you can even customize, I don't know if I just said this, but you can customize the grip. You can have like left hand, right hand if you want. And even the base you could screw the base down into like other peripheral equipment, I guess. Like they got different setups where if you want to get that feel of flying a helicopter, you could have like the extended like stick that comes up like in between your legs, whatever. So it is just, it's pretty cool. I might do a video about it. Might not 100% sure, but definitely if you're in the market for a joystick, go out there and check the Gladiator NXT. It's a pretty good price. I ended up kind of springing for the premium, which was a little more than the standard. Just kind of has a couple extra buttons and a couple extra springs or whatever. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting that set up and testing it out and seeing what it's all about. But here we are right now. We're in cruise, 41,000 feet, and we're just happily on our way to Nova Scotia. So we're hitting this last waypoint in Bovik, which is the end of the instrument departure from Bermuda, and then it's pretty much just going to be a long straight shot until we start the Peggy 4 arrival in Nova Scotia. So what I'm going to do, since this is going to pretty much be long and boring flying and this isn't like a live stream where I can kind of talk to you guys back and forth or anything like that, I'm going to go in, I'm going to go ahead and put in some just some drone footage or any kind of footage of Nova Scotia, probably specifically Halifax. So this is where we're heading today. This is where I live currently. So it's on the east coast of Canada. The population here in Nova Scotia is it's close to 1 million, but it's spread out kind of across the entire province. Pretty much once you leave Halifax, you're looking at a very rural, small towns. But the HRM, which is the Halifax Regional Municipality, that's where kind of the majority of the people are. And Halifax is a university city, so there's 3 universities here. There is Mount St. Vincent University, there's Dalhousie University, and there's St. Mary's University. So those are all 3 of those are in the Halifax regional municipality area. And then they also have Acadia University, which is where I went to school, and St. Francis Xavier University. Those are kind of further out in small towns. I personally really love living here. It's just got a real cool, like, homely type environment. Very slow pace, not very big. It's a lot different from like an Ontario. Well, I mean, if you're further out in Ontario, it's sort of the same. But if you see, you can compare like downtown Halifax to downtown Toronto. Obviously, downtown Toronto is way, way bigger. But it's cool. I like it here. It's a very chill, picturesque area. For somebody who's very outdoorsy, you love being out here. And I just like it. I've always liked the vibe. Even before I went to school here, I came up here pretty often. So I fell in love with the place. And once I graduated, I just decided to stay. Sorry. So yeah, it's been cool, man. Like it's a cool place. So what we're gonna do, I'm going to take a little break, and I'm just gonna go ahead and let's watch some footage of Halifax. See what Halifax is all about. I know a lot of people don't really know too much about this part of Canada, but you could definitely check it out. And when we come back, we'll be getting ready for descent. Alright? So this is your boy Fly Island Guy. Enjoy the footage, and I will check you when we get back. Alright, and welcome back to the flight. Hope that you guys enjoyed the footage that you just saw. Yeah, man, Halifax is a cool little place to be. You know, it's not the most happening place, not the most exciting place, but you know, it's still a great little city. So let's head up to the cockpit, and let's just get briefed in regards to the approach, and we'll be starting our descent soon. Before we talk about the approach, let's just take a look at our map here. So we're currently about 26 nautical miles outside of Valeri, and as you can see, I'd say about maybe 30 or so nautical miles past Valeri, we hit our top of descent. So we're already using VNAV. Essentially what we're going to do, if I remember this from last time, is that we're really just going to dial in a lower altitude. So in this case, I think we could dial down to 5,000. And once we hit our top of descent, once VNAV sees that lower altitude dialed in, it should automatically start its descent and start descending. I'm pretty sure that's how it's supposed to work, and how it worked last time. Alright, so let's just take a look at our approach. Let's come down to so let's bring up Navigraph. So if you look here, so this is the actual approach. We're supposed to be doing the Peggy 4 arrival. So this is our standard arrival into Stanfield International. So right now we're coming from Larry. I'll have to zoom in a little bit. Yeah, we're coming in from Larry, and I'm just going to pull this up on the legs page as well. So yeah, we're heading towards Larry right now. We are just 10 nautical miles outside of Larry, and we're going to be heading to Edgar next. And so from Edgar, we're going to be flying out this way on the 047 track. We're going to be heading towards Alota, right here. And if you remember, we had a discontinuity here between it was Dunub. So let's go next. Between Dunub and CF14. Initially that was a discontinuity, and that's because I think it's just expecting us to get like vectors to turn onto final approach for runway 14. We just kind of set up a connection in the FMS, and so let's go from there to the actual ILS runway 14 approach. We're going to be coming from Motor. Now I think Tatar is probably the CF14 approach. Sorry, CF14 waypoint. I'm not too sure why it's called that, but whatever. So we'll be, let's just say Tatar is a CF14 waypoint. We're going to be hitting here at 2300, and at this point I'll probably activate approach, so hopefully we'll be able to capture the glide slope and localizer and start our descent into runway 14. So I was on the tune page initially. As you could see, so if we just bring the map back, the ILS frequency is 109.1 and our course is 143. We're already dialed in to 109.1 on nav1, and so we'll just start setting the course. So I'll do the speed again. Alright, so we're getting really close to the top of the descent. As you can see, this little circle showing up now, that's basically kind of telling us our descent rate. So if we didn't want to use VNAV, we could follow that if we want, but we will use VNAV in this case. So what I'm going to start doing, because we're getting, oops, what's going on there? So since we're getting close to our top of descent, I don't know what just happened just now. We're gonna go. We're just gonna set our lower altitude. So we'll set it to 5,000 for now. Okay. So we're at 5,000, and what's going to happen is just before we hit the top of the descent, we're getting close. We're going to see, I believe, a message start flashing here within, I don't know if it's within a certain amount of miles or if it's within, like, you know, a certain amount of time. But regardless, this message here is going to start flashing just before we cross over our top of the descent, and then at that point it's going to immediately start the descent. Okay. Zoom in on the map a little more so we get a better idea. So here we go. We see the top of the descent enunciator show up. I don't know if it's called enunciator. That's what I'm going to call it because it sounds right to me. But this is going to start flashing like shortly before we start the top of the descent, right? Here's the flash, and we're officially starting. So I'm just going to dial back on the throttles now. Okay. So I'm getting to full idle, and now the plane is just descending. And what it's going to do, I have it set to 5,000. It's going to basically descend. It should hit 5,000 around here by a loader. And then after that, it's just going to hold. And it recalculates the top of descent again for the next, altitude restriction, which would be at 2,300. But I can tell you by this point we should have our ILS kind of set up and ready to go, and I hope it works, but we'll see what happens. Alright, so I am expecting a pretty rough approach and landing today. I don't really know exactly how it's going to go, but I know in real life here in Nova Scotia right now, we're dealing with some pretty, well, I mean, it doesn't sound too bad right now, but we're dealing with rain, and I know there's a wind warning in effect as well. So I checked the METAR for Halifax International, and right now it's reading the winds at from 120 at 18 knots with gusts to 28 knots. It's rain, some mist, and it's overcast, 4,000 feet, and the temperature is 4 degrees. So when we get it a little closer, I'm going to probably plug that back in again. I think there's an option. Setup. Here he goes. Takeoff. No, it's not this either. Okay, here we go. So approach. Sorry. Go to the performance page. We'll go to approach. I need to plug in some information inside here, and I think this will help calculate like some V speeds and that sort of thing. So let's go ahead and let's do that real quick. And we'll probably recalculate this again if I remember, but you probably won't. Our altimeter for Halifax right now is 2930, and the outside air temperature is 4 degrees. And as I mentioned before, the wind is 120 at 8 knots. And runway condition is wet. Alright. So, next page, it's giving us a VREF of 105, a V approach of 112. So I think 112 is the kind of speed that we're aiming for landing. So I don't think, yeah, I'm not worried about this stuff. So we're gonna go hit send on that. Don't really know what send does. I'm assuming it's supposed to okay, it's supposed to set up something here. Oops. It's supposed to set up something here. I don't know if that something is actually happening. Okay, that was weird. Our speed, our altitude just shot back up. Look at that. We have a tailwind of 73 knots right now. That's pretty interesting. Alright, well, I'm officially scared. Alright. At least I think that's what this is. Cool. So let us if we go to refs menu, okay, VREF and V approach it there. Let's set the minimums. Minimums. I'm not sure how we do this. One sec. It's not that guy. Oh, there we go. Okay, so minimums at the airport is, sorry for this ILS approach. Just looking somewhere on this guy. Okay. So I think it's ILS DME. Don't know what high L's out means, so just gonna go full. And we're gonna do 641 feet if we can get that in there. So yeah, let's just do 650 as our minimums. Okay. And alright, so there. Actually, I might just leave this up right now just so I can see the references. Okay, so when we hit 18,000, we are going to switch over to the local altimeter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh the METAR data one more time. And looks like the what's going on there? Looks like the air pressure's going down a little bit more. So I'm gonna go back to approach, and I'm gonna plug in 2927 here now. And the temperature's still the same. So I reach 18,000. As I said, we'll go ahead and put that into barometric pressure. I'm really nervous right now. This is like probably the second or third time I've done a flight into Halifax, and the weather's just absolute crap. So this is why I wanted to have my on-air company based here in Halifax, but I know that the winter is kind of crappy, and I didn't want to start off flying GA planes in just bad weather, like snow and ice and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I moved it to Bahamas again. All right. So I highly doubt we're going to be seeing anything anytime soon. So we're going to be flying strictly on instruments right now. So those winds are pretty crazy right now. I always forget to check the check the transition altitude. So I forgot it's not 18,000 everywhere. But for this airport, luckily it is 18,000. Right, so a few more 100 feet to go. Look at that. This is nothing. It's literally like the time right now is mid-afternoon, and you can't see anything outside except clouds. Alright. So we're gonna go 29 or 27. Oops. Barometric pressure isn't changing. There we go. That's really affected like our altitude. That's kind of scary. Okay. Alright, looks like we've broken through the top layer of clouds, which is good. We've hit Edgar now. So if we go back to our arrival, now a little pink arrow is showing up, and we right over Edgar, and we should be heading up here towards Bermuda, and Dunab. So this is a little less scary now, although I have no idea what's happening with the clouds right here. That just looks crazy. And this is what I'm talking about again with like the bad cloud textures. I don't know why it looks like that. Okay, so we are nearing 10,000 feet. Once we reach close to 10,000 feet, we will put on our landing lights. And luckily now the wind is decreased. Now it's 32 knots as opposed to the 70 or whatever it was we were seeing before. So I think we have some kind of announcement here for landing. Passenger brief. Landing is the third one. Okay, let's go ahead and let's play that.
May I have your attention, please? We will be landing shortly. Please turn off all portable electronic devices, stow tables, secure luggage, and loose articles. Return your seat to the upright and outboard position. Extend your headrest and fasten your lap belt and shoulder harness. After landing, please remain in your seat with your lap belt and shoulder harness securely fastened until the aircraft is come to a complete stop in the parking lot. Thank you.
Okay, so we're getting close to 10,000. So we're gonna go ahead and turn our landing lights on. Lights down here. Oops. Landing lights on. Alright, so we'll come outside. There's the landing lights. Alright, so as you can see, our rate of descent now has slowed a lot. Before it was around like 2,000 feet. Now we're down to about 1,500 feet per minute. And we're stopping at 5,000. When we reach 5,000, we'll plug in the next altitude, which is going to be 2,300 feet. We'll see where things go from there. But according to our approach for the ILS, we have to be I think 3,000 feet or above. So we'll have to see how you work it. Interesting, you see this blue light right inside this line right here. So this is the course. It's basically like pointing out our course for the ILS approach, which is awesome. So I'm pretty sure all I have to do at this point, since the nav radio is already tuned, is when I'm ready to just hit the approach button. I think that's once the localizer is captured, but once again, I'm just kind of guessing. I'm not sure. But as I keep saying, we shall see. Okay, so we're supposed to be hitting, according to the legs, 5,000 by a loader. We're coming up on a loader now. So we're pretty much kind of spot on. Might be a little high, but I think we're gonna get there. That's pretty impressive. So that's good. Good job of VNAV getting us to that point. And I think what's gonna happen is once we get there, it's going to recalculate our next top of descent. So when we settle off at 5,000, I'm going to put in the 2,300 next. So if you look right here now, it's calculated our next top of descent, which is awesome. So we already have it plugged in and ready to go for when we get there. Also, below 200 feet now, so we're going to go ahead and extend the first notch of flaps. Because I kind of want to be set up and ready for landing, or stabilized for landing, I guess. So yeah, that's a bit of a weird turn here, but it looks like it's handling it like a champ. And as you can see, it's already started the descent, which is also awesome. Probably gonna have a hard time capturing that though, because it's a bit of a weird turn. And I can't really descend while it's turning like that. Okay. Now if we look on Navigraph, we're turning now for final. Okay. And we're back on our descent profile. Right. So now we're heading towards that kind of fake waypoint, CF14, and then turning towards Imano. I'm not 100% sure what to do here now. I think I'm just going to
altitude.
Might just try activating the approach now, just see what happens. I have no idea if this is gonna work. If this starts moving in, that'll be a good sign. See, the glide slope is green, which is good. So I think we are on the money. Okay, so we're getting close to Amano. Amano is about 4 nautical miles off from the airport, so I'm just going to drop the landing gear. And, oh, okay, there we go. We're gonna go full flaps. Airport straight ahead. Can barely see it though. Oof. Damn, our airspeed was knocked way down just now. Okay, this is gonna be a tough one, folks, so wish me luck. We look like we're all lined up though. Not much to see out the window. So I'm just going to try and focus on the landing and hope I don't mess up. There's not a lot to see outside. Got decent visibility on the runway though, so that's good. Very fast on approach. I should be doing, I think it was 112. Let's see, we got straight up headwind, which is awesome. 20 knots right in the face. Back up a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna pull up my right when we land.
500. Minimums.
Continue. I'm gonna disconnect the autopilot.
Autopilot.
Just try and hand fly it to the ground. Floating a lot. Still haven't landed. There we go. All right. Smooth. Smooth. All right. Happy for that? No. Let's take this next taxiway. Flaps up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Halifax Stanfield International Airport. Oof. This is not a good day to fly here, but we got here in one piece. We're off the runway now, so let's turn our taxi lights on, landing lights off, your damper could go off. But you guys see how bad a day it was today? I am absolutely over the moon that managed to pull off that ILS landing with no hitches. Oh, thank you, Lord. All right. It was definitely a messy day here today. And honestly, like flying this approach just, it's kind of giving me a greater appreciation for the pilots who actually do this in real life on a day-to-day basis, because I can appreciate now how satisfying a feeling it must be to bring down a plane in these kind of conditions and land it smoothly and safely with no hassle. Alright. So coming up on the apron here now. See a Cessna parked over in the corner there. So you know what? Oh, see a marshal there. Cool. Let's head that way. Thank you, Mr. Marshaller. Parking brakes on. Turn these guys off. And engines off, folks. That is it. Let's turn these tax lights off too. Safe landing here in Halifax. I hope you guys really enjoyed this flight. This is pretty much my I'd say in total maybe like my second flight in this Working Title CJ4 mod. So I'm glad that this went as well as it did. As I mentioned before, make sure you check out Believe his name is Windhover, something like that. There, the person who actually like worked on this mod. Make sure you check out their channel for tutorials on how to use it. Make sure you check out Clumsy Gaming's channel, and come back next time. I had a blast here, and I hope you guys did as well. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. This is Fly Island Guy. Avionics off. Battery off. Peace.